Hey guys, this is going to be different because I'm about to tell you about a product I don't actually use, and to do it, we're going flat bill. So you know I'm talking about vaping. And while I don't personally vape, based on the car shows I go to and the people who come to my one-take shoots, a lot of the people in my audience do. And so let me tell you about this company. First off, they know that even though I don't vape, they want to support The Smoking Tire. They love what we do here. Also, veteran-owned, veteran-operated, and they donate a portion of their profits to veterans in Austin, Texas, where the stuff is handmade. They also donate a portion of the profits to the local artists who design their very cool labels. So it's all kept in-house and it's putting people to work. Hit the link in the description if you're into the mad flavors of Hometown Hero vape juice, and thanks for watching. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Angeles Forest, and my first time in about almost 3 years driving a stock Nissan GTR. This is the 2017 Nissan GTR Premium, which is new and not new at the same time. Powertrain is the same. It's a 3.8 liter twin turbo V6, which makes 565 horsepower here. The car weighs 3,900 pounds and change. What is new are the exterior. The front fascia is brand new. It's kind of got the new corporate look. And the interior, the dash layout is all new. And actually, I think they've done a nice job with it. The gauge cluster's the same, shifter's the same, but they've redone the HVAC controls, the radio, and there's a new steering wheel, which has shifters on the wheel. If I recall correctly, it's been a while. They were on the column before, and I think now they're on the wheel. Someone's going to correct me if I'm wrong there, but I like them on the wheel. That's good. This is, like I said, my first time in a stock one of these in a while, so we're going to explore the virtues of the stock GTR as we head down the hill. So let's see what 120 grand worth of stock GTR is good for. So, the GTR has been around since '09, and in that time, the price has gone up by 50%. It's gained about 100 horsepower to 150 horsepower, depending on which version you're talking about, and it's gradually declined in sales as other car makers have surpassed its Nürburgring lap times, its luxury, its horsepower levels. It's not the monster dominator that it once was, but it doesn't mean it isn't fast. It is extraordinarily fast still, and not just fast in a straight line. These make great drag cars, especially when modified, but the grip at the front end is really what this car is about. It also sounds kind of crazy, a little halfway between a Dyson vacuum and a Gulfstream jet. The brakes are excellent. The discs are huge, 6 pistons, and they really get this thing hauled down. Wow. Very, very easy to go into a corner too hot. So, things they've improved for 2017. First off, the last one of these I drove was a Nismo, and I hated it. It was too stiff, it was clunky, it was really like a track car that you could drive on the street, but I didn't like that. I thought for a dedicated track car, it was too big and heavy, and it made an attempt at practicality, but it sort of threw it away. This is a daily driver first. With 2017, although it has the same 6-speed dual-clutch gearbox as before, they have refined it and retuned it. Ooh, big rock. Refined it and retuned it, and now it's much smoother in traffic. It's less clunky. It's still not as good as PDK or as the Graziano units that Ferrari and McLaren use, but it is much more livable to the point where I'd feel better using it as a daily driver. A lot of that clunkiness that you heard before is gone until you get to very, very low parking lot speeds. They have also improved the suspension, whereas the GTRs were always very stiff. let us by. Whereas the GTRs have always been very stiff, this one gains a comfort mode. So right now the shocks are in normal, throw them into comfort, and then it becomes actually usable as a daily driver in places with bad roads. The adaptive shocks do adapt. They get the job done on the track and on the street. And I'm not going to sit behind a Jeep Cherokee, so, well, not that spot, but somewhere with visibility. We will pull off, and I will wait. In the meantime, I like the new interior. I like the new steering wheel. It feels good in my hands. It's the right size. You finally can buy a car that won't look exactly the same as the one from '09. That's good. But this car is so big. It's in my garage. It is huge. I don't have like room to get out of it because it's so big. It's like the size of a minivan. And for something with that much, so for something that's that big, like, yeah, I'm tall, but look where I am here. Like, I can't get in. Oh, I knew if I was patient. Thank you. For something that's so big, like, I can't get a helmet on in this car. Like, the seat is as low as it goes, I promise. And also, these seats are not really meant for big guys. Now, the people who make the car would tell you that that's my fault and not the car's fault. But I just, consumer advice, if you're big like me, and that means, over 220 to 250 pounds, over 6 feet, you may find these seats to be a little tight. And the bolstering and all that is not actually adjustable. So there isn't anything you can do. If you're smaller, I bet they're great. If you're bigger, a little tight. A lot of grip at the front, a lot of grip at the rear. Obviously, this car thrives on grip. That's what all that advanced technology does. It allows you to maintain really crazy cornering speeds without needing excessively huge tires. I mean, it's only got a 255 at the front. Dunlop SP Sport Max tires on this, which I don't have a lot of experience with, but they actually feel pretty decent. I will say, in the city, the GTR tramlines a lot. And for those unfamiliar with the term, tramlining is when trucks and other vehicles cut grooves in the road, and then the front wheels dart about and follow those grooves. It means you have to keep two hands on the wheel because it could like rip the wheel out of your hand almost, So it does tramline a lot. And originally I thought that was because the front tires were too wide. They're only 255, so it's not that. It is, I found out later, that this car comes with very aggressive alignment settings, specifically caster settings, which help the turn-in be more aggressive for like Nürburgring lap times. And what they do is they deliver the car to you with that setting. You then drive the car for a couple months, and you can go back to the dealer and have them adjust it to suit you. So this is a press car. It's probably going to go see some track time, so it's got the aggressive alignment settings. But what I'm told is Nissan allows a lot of adjustment to these, and if it was my car and I was an owner and I planned on doing more street use, I could dial that out a little bit, which would make it a little more relaxed on the street. And then if I wanted to go to a track day, I could set it back there however I wanted. So it is not, it's actually a benefit to the car, not a drawback, that my particular tester happens to tramline a little bit. That's what would happen if you dial in a lot of caster. Car's real fast, and it really goes through a lot of fuel. I have driven 115 miles in this car, most of it not canyons, and I've been through over 3/4 of a tank of fuel. It's a thirsty girl. The thrust coming out of these corners is very strong. And what's funny is, sorry, I had to go real quick there for a second. What's funny is what used to be considered the most digital, the most computerized, the most the car that forces the biggest stake of computing in between driver and road, now actually feels quite analog by comparison, you know, compared to the newest 911s, because we now have had 2 generations of 911 since this car came out. We've had 2 generations of Ferrari since this car came out, 2 generations of McLaren since this car came out. And so a lot of those other cars have become more and more digital, whereas this one has remained fairly analog. It's a weird position to find ourselves in with the Nissan GTR, isn't it? Chris? Still fast, though. Still fast. Construction ahead. We'll have to be careful. So, what else is there to say about the GTR? Obviously, it makes for an excellent tuning platform. You can make up to 2,000 horsepower in these cars, depending on your wallet, really. Lots of shops can do it. And some of these cars are running monster numbers in the half and the quarter mile, 7 seconds, quarter mile, 230, 240 miles an hour in the half in these cars. I will say that I don't get a connection to it. I mean, even though it's as fast as it is, and even though the G-forces are what they are, I don't want to keep it. I don't. My body isn't saying, man, I gotta have one of these. You know, it's I can't really make a connection to it the way I would like to. And part of that, I think, is because it is so big and so heavy that even with the computers that it's got, and even the way it seems to defy physics, I can tell it's defying physics. And what I want are not to defy physics. I want a car that works within physics, but that talks to me a little better. So that's just me. It's my taste. I will say that this GTR is probably the best GTR I've driven in terms of refinement, in terms of daily usability. It doesn't drone the way the last GTR is I drove it. The last one I drove droned so badly on the highway, it was like giving me headaches. This one doesn't, and I like that a lot. Makes it much more usable as a daily. They've done a good job. They've taken the GTR to what I feel like is its logical conclusion, which is daily driver, and then there's still the Nismo over there, if you want the hardcore one. But it's a pretty nice place to be if you're the right size. I'm a little big, but it's nice, it's good, it's expensive. This is a $118,000 car. But as we've seen, I was surprised that GTR resale is very good. If you bought a brand new GTR in 09, you can get 75% of your money back out of it now. So you know, these aren't terrible investments as far as sports cars go. And it's nice to drive. You need to have a connection with it, though, which I unfortunately don't seem to have. But it is lovely. And so thanks to Nissan for letting me have a go. This is, of course, their press car. Thank you for watching. Check out my wheel well to see what the status is of my garage. And that's it. And I'm going to end this video by just doing a launch control to a fade out. So we're going to go, I stopped and then I talked, and then we're going to go around this corner and we're gonna launch it just so you can see, because it's 0 to 60 in like 2.8. It's a very, we'll just do it here. Ready? We'll hit 60 by the time we get to that little corner. Ready? And go. 160. Drag car. It's a drag car. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.